Hello everyone, it's Keesje. Welcome back. Today's video is about this envelope recipe book that I made. This is a prototype. I'm gonna make another one and I will take you through the steps of making it. So I have 5 envelopes on each page, and this book is made with the hidden spine so that you can't see how the pages are attached. And each page has an insert with 4 more places for a recipe. Then the cover is made from a cardstock 11 by 17 that I cut the size. And so here I got my first problem. My spine is a little too narrow for the inside spine, so I have to fix that. Also, my cover isn't quite wide enough to accommodate for the tabs of the book, and I'm okay with that. You know, I don't mind, but I will make the next book a bit bigger. First, what I do is I dye my own paper, and you could see that in a previous video. Then I'm using an envelope punch board to make all my envelopes. I'm going to make a lot of envelopes, and so I'm using this punch board. And the recipe cards that I'm using are 4 by 6. So then I go here to my chart here, 4 by 6. It says the paper needs to be 8/3/8. And you got to punch and score at 3.5. I've tried that and that didn't work for me. I found the envelopes too big, so I fiddled with it until I came up with one that I really like. And I have to cut my pages for the envelope 8¼ square. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of the excess here, because when you dye paper it shrinks, and when you iron it all the wrinkles go to the top and the bottom here. I have some instructions here on my right, so if you want to follow along. And I will cut my paper to 8¼ size, and I keep the little strip that comes off. It's about 2 inches wide, and we're going to use this further on in the project, so I'll put that aside. And so now we're going to punch. And I have said here, line up paper with 3/3/8, so I'm going to line it up with 3/3/8. Score and punch. Okay, I gotta extend my flap here, otherwise I'm going to have problems. Then the next says, line up with 4/7/8, which makes the score line enter here, which is meant to do. Oh, I gotta punch yet. Got that. And repeat for the other 2 sides. Now I'm going to round the corner of only one large triangle. We don't need to round this one. So now I'm going to make the envelope. Fold the short sides in first, and fold the flap over with the rounded corner to make the envelope. Now, if I insert my card, you can see that there's like this flap here that I don't really want. So I'm just going to fold this back. I have a template here that is 2 5/8 wide by the length that it was. I'm going to line it up with the bottom, fold over the flap, and add a little bit of glue to the point here. Now I also know where to add glue so that it will touch the sides here and not go inside the envelope, and I'm going to use double-sided tape for this. I have a dedicated scissor only for double-sided tape, because this scissor gets gooey. Burnish, which I usually do with the back end of the scissor, because you really want those corners down so that when you take off the paper, the glue will stick. And this is one of those dentist pokey tools that you can get. This was in a set of 5 and I bought this at Princess Auto here in Canada. And close the envelope. Now the flap is being folded back. Oy, oy. And because we don't need the whole flap, but I still want the folded edge to be the top. And now we're going to cut off where the triangle starts. Also, we're going to keep the triangles because we're going to use this in the future to make the pockets for the inserts. I'm also going to use double-sided tape here. And of course, you can use any glue you want. All right, so I've finished another envelope. The box calls for 40, so I'm going to make 39 more. But when I make something like this, I will do this assembly line. So I will cut all my papers first, score all my papers, cut off little things here and fold over little things there and glue it until the envelopes are all finished. So I'll be back with the next step once I'm all done here. So I bundled my envelopes by 5s because we're going to connect them by 5s. And I have taped 3 sides, starting from 1 inch from the top, all the way around until 1 inch from the top. The 5th envelope does not get any tape or glue because that's the one that's on top. Now, if you want to use glue, that is fine too. It doesn't really matter what you use. So I will go about removing the glue, tape, because I'm going to add a little bit more glue sideways, because it is important that this is closed here. And I'm going to add a little bit glue on top of the tape so that I have a little bit of room to move my envelope around for the next one. Okay, so now I'm lining my envelope up on my squares, and I try to extend both sides equal amounts. And when I place my second envelope on top, I also will have a look on the bottom here to make sure that it's the same distance apart. And it's got to be about 1 inch. Well, as you can see, not all my envelopes are the same size. It does change a little bit. Now I'm continuing this until I have all 5 envelopes on top of each other, and I make 8 sets. When I have all sets done, I will be back for the next step.